Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Ify and I'm officially welcome you guys to your 2024. This year is going to be an amazing year, especially for those of us that we want to immigrate to Canada. That being said, I noticed that there are lots of people that are totally novice when it comes to Canada immigration. In fact, they take any kind of or they accept any kind of visa that is given to them by agents. Like they don't know which is temporary visa and what is permanent visa. Some of them, when they come here, they don't even know what next to do because they feel that I have gotten visa to Canada. Yeah, I'm going to Canada. But unknowingly to them, they don't know that there are some visas that when it's given to you, it requires you to go an extra mile for you to get your permanent residency. While there are some, you get your permanent residency right from your home country. So if you are a novice when it comes to Canada immigration, just take this video as a gift from me to you because I'm going to be highlighting the different visas that can be gotten when it comes to Canada immigration, the list of visas under the temporary resident and the ones that is under the permanent resident, and the one that I feel should be best for you. So if it is something you're interested in, stay tuned to the end. First, I will discuss the kinds of visas you can get under the temporary visas, especially the popular ones. Okay, number one on my list is the study visa. Now, this is the type of visa that just allows you to come to study in Canada. An immigration officer expects you that after studying, you're going back to your country. It is a temporary visa, not a permanent visa. Any agent that is telling you that they are giving you a study permit visa or they want to process a study permit visa for you in order for you to come to study in Canada, just have it at the back of your mind that that is a temporary visa and you need to do some other things in order to transition yourself into becoming a permanent resident in Canada. So, if you are coming in as a student coming to study in Canada, ensure that the kind of course you're coming to study is in high demand and your comprehensive ranking score will be very high enough for you to get invited to apply as a permanent resident in Canada. Be very intentional when it comes to coming to study in Canada, because if you are not intentional and you're not strategic enough, you might not know how to transition yourself into becoming a permanent resident. So before you choose this particular route, before you make that move, just know that you need to be strategic. You need to already map out plan on how you can transition from your temporary visa into becoming a permanent resident. Okay? Because if you're not intentional and you just got your admission in any kind of school that is not DLI and that is not PGWP eligible, it will be so difficult for you to transition to permanent residence. And I wouldn't want you guys to come here stranded, especially if your study visa or if you're done studying, you don't even know how to go about it to become a permanent resident. So before you start the study route process, just already map out plans, what you need to do in order to become a permanent resident. Starting from after my study, what next? You get a job, what next? you apply, you enter the pool, then you apply to become a permanent resident. Be strategic. Do not waste all those money to come study in abroad and you are not strategic enough to know how to transition to become a permanent resident. The next one is visit visa or the visitor visa. Like the name implies, you're coming to visit. It's not for you to stay. It's not a permanent visa. It's a temporary visa. So many agents are deceiving people that they can immigrate with a visiting visa. I don't know. So many people, I don't know if you guys don't even know the meaning of the word immigrate. Immigrate means you're coming to stay permanently, which is not the purpose of the visit visa. It's not. So if an agent is advising you to sell up your properties in order to come to Canada, that when you come to Canada, you should be able to switch from visitor visa to a work permit, please check the order of my posts and you will understand why I discourage that so much, so that you will not end in premium tiers. Okay, so like I always said, visitor visa is meant for you to come to Canada, stay for 6 months and then go back. If you eventually land yourself with an LMIA job, fine and good. You can convert your visitor visa to a work permit and you can stay longer and you can start working. Okay, but I don't encourage anybody to sell up their properties with a mindset that you're coming in to Canada with a visitor visa and you want to start working with a visitor visa. You don't work with a visitor visa. You don't work with a visitor visa. Point of emphasis. Do not allow any agent to deceive you. Okay? Don't go and pay huge amount of money for agents to just process or help you to process the visitor visa. Do not waste your money and do not sell off your properties. So the next on my list is seeking an asylum. I don't even want to dwell too much on this. The main reason for seeking an asylum is if you're being threatened in your country. So if you're not threatened, you just want to seek an asylum, I would really advise you not to do that. So when one seeks an asylum, they are allowed to stay while RCC is doing that background and the rest. Okay, from there, if you're qualified, and you can apply for a permanent resident. You see the way I said it is not really easy. Okay, this process can take even up to 5 or 6 years or even more. So if you're not really threatened, instead of you going through this path, I will encourage you explore other options rather than seeking an asylum. The next is, and I think that should be the last, is the super visa. Super visa is a temporary visa and is mainly for parents and for grandparents. So if you are in Canada, you want your parents to come over to Canada, you can apply for a super visa for them. With a super visa, they can stay in Canada for 5 years in a row. This is different from the visitor visa. Visitor visa allows one to stay for just 6 months. But with a super visa, your parents can stay up to, your parents or your grandparents can stay up to 5 months in a go. And it's also a multiple visa. They can be issued up to like 10 years, but you stay 5 years maximum go back and then you come again. That is for the super visa. It's also a temporary visa. I think I'll have to make this video into 2 parts. So the first part, I've discussed everything about the temporary visa. Now you know when an agent gives you a visa, you understand the category of visa the agent is giving you. If it is a temporary visa, have it at the back of your mind that you still have other works to do in order to transition yourself into becoming a permanent resident here in Canada. So temporary visa is not the end of the road. Okay, so watch the part 2 of this video for visas that is under the permanent resident and my take on which visas is right for you to go with. Is it the temporary resident visa or the permanent resident visa? Catch you in my part 2.